Welcome. Sit back and relax. Grab your headphones, something to drink, and enjoy. 1Trance by Reboot and Quantum Solar. Let's go.
Hello and welcome. We are so hyped that you decided to join us for our very first episode of 1Trance podcast, the place where trance meets you.
We are. This is more than just a podcast. This is the kind of talk that you always wanted to hear about the scenes and all the fun stories.
Exactly. Not stuffy formal interviews. No, we don't do it in stuff here. We want this to feel just like we ran into each other on the street, backstage, at a coffee place, and we just had a talk.
Always. My name is Quantum Solar.
And I'm Reboot. And we created this space because, honestly, we want to talk about the real stuff that happens behind the scenes.
Trance is global, and also the people behind it that makes it happen, all from up and coming DJs, TikTok DJs, producers, singers, label owners, and much more.
And that's our mission. We're giving you a dedicated 30-minute stage to the entire trance industry. We are here for the fun stories, the challenges, the everyday grind, the fun stuff behind the scenes, as I said. This is where trance meets you.
We're diving deep with unique questions you generally won't hear any other place. Getting into the wildest tour moments, the creative struggles, and the journey of the people behind.
So for today's show, our very first episode of 1Trance podcast, we have none other than the amazing legend, Eternal Waves. He's always been behind the scenes doing sound packs and plugins, but recently has come out to the scene of producing. So big that he got recognized by Armin van Buuren by playing one of his tracks at his Status Trance episode live. And ladies and gentlemen, here's Mr. Eternal Waves.
Hi, Phil. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here at our first episode. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you? You okay?
I'm really good. We've been stressing a bit, but we're here now finally, and you're here. You got your camera working, and everything's good. We're so excited to have you here. Can you tell the viewers a little about yourself?
No, yeah, I can. So I basically started producing music. I was probably about 14 on the old DJ stuff back in the day.
Nice.
And then just sort of progressed from there. Worked on that, and then sort of went to the next thing. The next thing ended up on FL Studio, got picked up by Dance MIDI Samples with some sample packs by K Complex, a hardcore producer who runs that. And then it sort of spiraled from there. We've ended up here today getting interviewed.
Well, you're here because you're a personal friend of ours. We know through TikTok. I know you as a producer, and we have the same people that we hang around on TikTok, and we think that you're an amazing guy, and you were so nice to come and join us. So for us, you're important. You said you've been into some sampling and doing some behind the scenes stuff. So you did all the samples and sounds like other producers like me used?
Yeah. So it's on Dance MIDI Samples, I basically made MIDI packs at first. And then slowly, as I sort of learned production, I went on to start producing the sounds for things like Silent, Inspire, and a plethora of all the different things. So there's quite a lot of producers out there who I know are using those samples now, because I've seen the receipts, I've seen who's bought them. So it's quite interesting to know who's got them and listen out for them and go, that's my sound. It's quite cool.
Hey, any names you want to put out, if I may ask?
Because of GDPR and all that, but but yeah, I know there's a couple of guys at the top who are definitely using them.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Cool.
That must be a lot of work doing all those samples. I have a vision in my head like you're sitting somewhere with a microphone and hitting stuff and recording. And I have a question I want to ask you then. What would be the most non-musical thing you ever used in a sample pack?
I've used a set of keys to make a bell sound. I'll tell you one thing I did though, that I've got a track coming out in January, and
Nice.
It's called Age of the Machines. Now, Minkee Dj, if you know her on TikTok, she sent me a sample from her partner's work, because he works in a factory with machines, and it's a load of like banging and crashing from this machine as it's working. And I've turned that into a drum loop for the track.
Really?
So that's quite cool. Yeah, I've chopped the hell out of it.
We'll make sure, of course, every track you talk about, we'll make sure to link in the show after, just for notice. I think Manuel will take over from here.
So there's a lot of young producers, new people coming into the scenes when it comes to trance and other music genres. What is the most common piece of advice or technical rule that you, that have all these scope of experience as a professional sound designer, as a producer, that you think is completely myth, and would love to set it straight when it comes to the people coming into the scene, so they don't make the same mistakes that some others that have been in the scene for a long time will make today?
So a bit of I don't know. There's quite a lot of advice out there, and I think it's individual to every person. You've basically got to do what works for you. Don't say no to things, even if you think you're not going to be able to do it. Just say yeah. You know, you only regret the things you said. In the worst case scenario, you can't do it. You
Yeah,
know,
take a
come back and
chance. Take a chance and go. Just go for it.
yeah,
If it works, great. If it doesn't, start over, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's good advice, because, like I said, a lot of people are, and we know some of those people ourselves, that are coming into the scene and will try to produce something. Actually, my son, he's not into the same kind of music we are. He's into hip hop and rap, but he's on FL Studio, and he has some of the equipment that Danny has and some other people have. So just keep going, produce, take a chance, release it to get an opinion on what people think about a track.
Don't be held back by other people's opinions, because what you make is individual to you. That's another thing as well. If you start making the same things as everyone else, you disappear into the crowd. So you've
Yeah,
definitely
you
got
need.
to do your
I
own
would
thing.
say also, as a producer, you need to stop worrying about making music for other people. Make it for yourself, because there will always be a listener out there that would like it. Maybe not 1,000 people, but maybe one or two, or maybe 1,000 or 100,000.
Yeah, and you don't know. You can't predict that either. You know yourself. You think a track's going to do well, and it flops, and you get one that you think, oh, this is going to do really rubbish, and then it's amazing. So
Yeah,
you can't predict it. So you
and
might shelf
it's the
and you
best
think,
feeling in the world, if you ask me, when a track goes, like, if you think, this track is all right, and then it just goes. That's amazing.
As you know, I don't produce, I DJ a little bit, and I have the same feeling as you guys talking about. I think I did really good on a mix, and then
Yeah.
I do a mix, and I'm like, oh man, that wasn't good at all, and then straight up.
And I think that it is such an important message to get out there, that no matter if you're Armin van Buuren or your Eternal Waves or Reboot, we all have that feeling, and the same feelings. And we have days where we don't feel like this is a hit as a producer, but the track ends out good, and maybe someone else likes the end product. But you as a producer are never 100% satisfied. At least I'm not.
no.
And I think it's
There's
the
always
same when you're, Manuel, preparing for a DJ set and executing that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you feel do when you hit that writer's block? Do you have any guilty pleasures, or do you have any superstitious things that you do to get out of it, or do you listen to a pop song that just tickles your brain?
if I'm having writer's block, I tend to come away from trance completely. I'll go listen to some rock or some classical music or something completely different, and then you can take inspiration from there. Instead, you can hear something, you go, "Oh, that's quite cool." It's like Stranger Things is out at the moment, and I've just watched the last episode, and I won't spoil anything. But there's a sound at the end of the last episode, and it sounds a bit like the THX startup sound, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm having that. That's getting sampled." So I think you can find inspiration anywhere. Anywhere. It can be
I
everywhere.
mean, I think we're taking inspirations from anywhere. I mean, we all had that moment where, what am I doing here? You know, like, we're not really sure if you want to do it, if and if you want to continue, and you look back and say, okay, I've done all this. You know, to some people like yourself, you've hit certain mark of your producer career, as we talked before, you and I, and it's like, okay, I've done everything, I've accomplished everything. I can keep going. Do I go? What idea do I use? I mean, we as use sound for the things that we do, DJing, producing, sound samples. You can get sound from anywhere. You can get that feeling back that, okay, I hit the block. Ooh, this sound. Okay, I can do something with it. Yeah.
That takes me to a maybe a bit of a side question, because now we have all this AI, which is
Good
the
point.
opposite of that organic sound that we love, and going around recording birds or whatever you need. I think we're gonna lose a lot of that organic sound. What are you taking on that, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with AI, it's coming whether we like it or not. That's the thing. And I think if it's used as a tool, I don't mind it. I think if it's used fully to create tracks and things on one prompt, we're kind of doing the human race disjustice. I know Spotify is full of AI stuff now. It's absolutely with it.
I don't know if you guys heard this or not. I think it was country. There was a #1 Billboard track from a country band that people had no idea that the entire persona of the band
Yeah, it
was AI. And they got #1 on the Billboard. So you are, as an artist, Danny as an artist, me as just a guy pushing buttons. You know, there's going to be a lot of people doing the same. It's going to be a lot of people says, I want a track that says this, sounds this, does that. Click, done.
Yeah.
And
The thing
then,
is, I
well,
think
go ahead.
accessibility, like if you don't know how to do what me and Danny do, how do you get a track out? And I think in a way, like I say, if you use it as a tool, but you're transparent about it, you say, look, I've had this idea for years and I don't know how to write a track, but I've used AI. That's fine to me, because you might have an idea or something you want to convey to everybody that you can't do because you don't have the skill that we do, but you've still got the same ideas. So I
Yeah,
don't think
it doesn't make you less creative at all.
yeah, this is it. I think it's just
No,
people have
as long as you disclaim it. That's the big one. As long as you disclaim it.
Yeah, because I can see it well also when we're on TikTok. There we have a lot of our co-producers. There's probably not a lot of artists that produce very, very good tracks because the AI knows how to produce a good track. And I can hear it on the vocal straight away, the melody and how it sings, that it's AI, and I can hear the bass. But there's so many people blowing up and taking over charts, and I think it's fine, but they don't claim themselves as AI producers. Do it. Claim yourself as an AI producer, because there's nothing wrong with it. You want to be creative. Maybe you don't know how to push the buttons or play the piano, and that's fine, but just stay true to it, right?
Yeah, this is it. I think there should be a separate chart system for AI. I think, it shouldn't be mixed in with human beings, because you've got people like, prime example, DJ Mac. He's just coming into it and he's got his first couple of tracks signed. He's now up against AI, which can produce like the big guys. And how does he compete with that? So I think there should be definitely some sort of separation.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Mac. As a matter of fact, Danny pointed something out, and I think that's coming. There's going to come a point that you, Phil, or any other producer will be that uses AI. Anybody who uses AI to produce a track, there's going to be producers. There's going to be AI producers. I think it's going to be a different category of producing, not just for music, for any type of media. There's going to be an AI producer. So actually, this leads right into the next question. Again, you've been around for a while doing music. Who is the one producer, dead or alive, that you considered your biggest role model in your career?
Quite a few. If I'm honest, there's a lot. Because it depends where you're taking inspiration from. So if it's like a classical build, it'd be Hans Zimmer. Because an orchestral build in any song,
Legend.
that's the guy for orchestral stuff. Then, like, my absolute favorite trance track is Seven Colors by Lost Witness and Lange. So yeah, I think for me I've got the signed copy up there. So for me it's that's the top one for me. And I've actually got a track coming with Lost Witness, which I never thought would happen.
We will make sure that we link everywhere and make that known.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
crazy.
So speaking of AI and producers coming into the scene, who is the current producer coming out, male or female, it doesn't matter, coming up in a scene that makes you nervous because like, okay, it just sounds too perfect, too good, and you don't know. I mean, some people, I may not be able to spot AI on a track. You guys are professionals. You guys will be able to spot it right away. But who is the one producer that's like, okay, he's too good. This sounds too good, too perfect. That's coming up that you think it's gonna be the next thing, and makes you a little nervous about it as well.
I think there's quite a lot of rising talent, to be honest. I could go through a list. We won't mention Quantum Solar.
No, we won't mention him at all. I'm pretty sure everything uses his AI. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah. No, he's a good producer, but don't tell him. There's I think Mark Porritt at the moment. Ben Skinner's doing phenomenally.
Yes. He has a new track coming out called Breathe, right?
Yeah, 100%. He's really, really talented. pouring his money into that studio, absolutely pouring it.
Yeah, I think I've
He's
seen
got some,
pictures of that. I think I've seen pictures
yeah,
of the studio. It's amazing.
there's some tracks coming that he sent me. Obviously, I won't say who they're with, because he sent them in secret. But there's some amazing stuff coming, with some big producers. Yeah, he's making waves. Here's the pun.
Yeah.
He's making waves in the scene. So yeah, definitely a couple of guys to look out for there. Definitely.
Nice. We will, and I know we might have Ben Skinner on actually at some point, or at least we hope.
We hope. Yeah,
Um,
he's well attended. Yeah.
yeah. I will take on for the next question. That's one I've been waiting for. I know you have a fun story about it. You had a track with a collab partner called Daniel Bach.
Yeah, David Back. Yeah, David
Yeah,
Back.
David, sorry. And there was a remix done, which was aired on October back in 23, I think, on ASOT's 1142 episode. How was that? I know it's not. It was your track. It was the remix that went on, but it must have felt amazing anyway.
Yeah, it were a bit of a moment, that, to be honest. It were a very strange week. So at the beginning of the month, I'll start from the beginning. So basically, what happened was Silos Witness popped up as a person I might know on Facebook. So I thought, well, why not? So I clicked add, and he added me to my surprise, and I was like, wow. And I saw on his last post, he put looking for producers for a new label. So I'm like, this is great. I've got a track that I'm making with David Back. So I messaged David. I said, I'm going to send this to Silos Witness if you don't mind. And he went, yeah, go for it. I'm like, he's never going to get back to us. He'll never get back to us. I think it was the day after. He's like, I love it. Do you mind if I get it reworked though? Because I was fairly new back in like producing music, so it needed work. So he basically said, do you mind if I send it to Andy Senior for a master and a bit of a rework? So I'm like, yeah, go for it. I'm down. And then it spiraled into. He messaged me. He said, I've sent it to Paul Van Dyke, Dave Pierce.
Wow, nice.
And all the big guys, and I was like, what? I literally replied. I was like, my mind's blown.
Yeah,
I mean, I
who
imagine.
wouldn't
I
be?
can just imagine.
Yeah, so yeah, and then it just kind of spiraled into a couple more emails, signed the contract, and then he said, Armin wants to play the track. Armin and Ruben Durand have messaged back and they want to play the track. But obviously, me and David were like,
Yeah.
he's acting. Yeah, so we signed another contract to make sure it was able to be subleased to Armada. So it's signed to both Trance FC and Armada.
Mara,
Yeah.
Great. Suddenly we've gone from not being on any trance label to the biggest, really.
yeah,
Other than
yeah.
Black Hole and stuff.
Yeah.
Then it's only downhill from there.
Yeah, and that's it. So,
Now, question: did you watch it live when he played it?
yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
so,
go ahead.
yeah, it was so surreal. And then when it played, and I remember it were about 10:30 at night. I were out in the rain because I was building a shelter outside that I needed to finish, and I was drenched cold. And I'm watching Armin van Buuren playing my track, and it was just like, what?
In
And
the
then at the
rain?
end, yeah, in the rain, just like
I'm
shivering.
dancing in the rain. So Phil was literally dancing in the rain to his own
Yeah,
track.
literally one. Yeah,
that's
it was
amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
Oh, what an amazing story. What an amazing story. So you've had all this success doing all kinds of things with sound, producing. You've hit certain marks on your career. And I imagine the one by Armin van Buuren was probably the biggest one of your career, if I may say so. You had other famous collaborators. I know you had some tracks that you did with Rickson. They are very good. What is, and I know you keep talking about retiring, but then coming back, and then retiring, then coming back. I don't think you're going anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, for the ones who watching who don't know Phil like we do, Phil has what is it, a month ago or maybe a bit more, he chose to retire. He meant he was too old for music all of a sudden, or didn't like any of us. But then all of a sudden these tracks keeps pouring out.
I know, right?
Tell us about, what do you have? Do you have a whole draw of tracks that are done?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, basically that's what it was. So when I announced it, I went through my hard drive, exported all the tracks I had, and my plan was to just release one or two here and there on SoundCloud and just sort of keep the momentum going. And and give people something else. My plan was to stop producing. And then about 2 days after I dropped that video, Witness messaged me and he said, let's do a track together. So I was unretired.
Nice.
Pulled back in.
So yeah, kind of pulled me back into it for a bit. I still don't know. I still I don't know.
We're glad
We'll
you're
see how
here
it goes.
still.
Hey, Phil, just don't press the delete button and the enter button at the same time,
Yeah.
with those tracks.
Yeah, not again.
No, I do
Not
have a
again.
question. Of all those tracks that you have coming out from your basket of tracks, per se, which one are you more excited about for this year?
Well, obviously the Lost Witness one's big, because, like I said earlier, he's one of my trance heroes. But I've got some really important tracks that I've kind of been holding off. So I've got one about miscarriage, which, funnily enough, has got an AI vocal at the moment, but I have been talking to a couple of people who might be singing it for me. There's nothing in store. We'll talk about that.
But that's
yeah, I've got
again,
one about that.
that's a way to use it as a tool. Sorry to interrupt, but that's a way to use it as a tool. People have your idea down as an AI and then give it to a singer.
Yeah, because this is
Absolutely.
the thing. I wanted to be involved with the lyric because it's something that I've been through in the past that I wanted to talk about, with miscarriage and losing a baby and stuff. So I had my own personal message I wanted to convey, but I can't sing. So it's a way of doing that, I think. No one wants this singing. So
and it costs a bit of money when you need to find a singer, and if you don't have a good friend that want to do a demo vocal for you, then it's a good tool to use.
Yeah,
definitely.
but this is the other thing as well. Vocalists are busy, and you're back and forward, and it can take a month to get hold of a vocal, whereas you can do it in AI, have it done, and then send it to the vocalist and say, "Can you sing this? Can you hit these notes?" And
of
you've
course,
got the finished product ready. They just have to sing it.
that is actually a phenomenal tool. If you think about it that way, you get it down, you get it all done, and say, "Hey, listen, I don't want to use AI for the vocals. Can you do it?" Now, besides producing and sound, what does the day off for Eternal Waves looks like when you're not doing anything related to music?
This is it. This is all I do. This is it.
You don't take a day off?
Not really. No, I run a business, and when I'm off, I'm usually here or spend time with the family. I try to spend as much time with the family as I can. It's kind of why I was retiring, because this can eat into your time. Danny will tell you. You'll be sat here, you get on at 10 o'clock, you think, I'll go on for a couple of hours. You look down at your phone, it's 4 a.m. And you're like, oh no, I've got work to do. Oh no, what have I done?
Me personally, I could never do it. I don't have the time to do that, to do it.
But you must also, Manuel, or Reboot has have a certain way when you go digging for new numbers. Have that when, okay, you're sitting down, you start thinking I might find 3 or 4 numbers, and suddenly you used 4 or 5 hours of digging through new tracks without even knowing.
Yeah, I have a way to get the tracks, and I pretty much I go through it and I get all the ones that I like, regardless if I end up playing them or not, and then I will put them all in because I do plan my playlist. I just the way that I organize myself in life. I have a playlist for each mix because it's just. I mean, a lot of DJs have playlists. Nothing wrong with that. So put it all on one. I have a limit of tracks. I put them on. The ones that work, keep it on the playlist. The ones that don't work, out. I may use them on a different playlist. I may not use them at all. So that's how I plan my DJ sets. And I have notes for each DJ set that I make as well.
So you have the same way. You can go in think it's gonna take an hour, and then suddenly you spend 3-4 hours.
5 hours. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one.
Well, guys, we're gonna go to a thing we're gonna have here on 1Trance podcast. That's 6 questions for our guest. We call it the quick fire round. It's gonna be 6 different questions each time, specific tailored to get a little bit fun out of our guest here. So, Manuel, if you will take off with the first question, maybe.
This is the quick fire round.
All right. You're going to like this one. What specific junk food or caffeinated beverage is actually responsible for 90% of your producing and your tracks?
It's just coffee. Just constantly
Boom.
coffee.
There you go. Coffee. Hold on. Black or with milk or creamer or sugar or just black?
Look at the size of it. It's milky.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Danny.
All right. Question number 2. Have you ever found yourself watching an appliance at home like a washing machine and just going like, damn, that's a good rhythm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time, all the time. Everything's broken in my house, so yeah, just there's all sorts.
So it
making
just
noise.
makes
Go around with the mic.
great.
Ask your family. Make a noise.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's not a
Then
problem.
I have another one, a question like because I know this as a producer. Tell me, how many files do you have on your computer that's called idea number 1, 2, 3, final version 1, final version 2? I have a whole hard drive.
I have a hard drive full of those. But yeah, I think every producer does. Every producer does. Everyone
Yeah,
does. I've just started overwriting now. I don't even save the old one anymore. I just go, that's it. I'm committed. We're just getting out of hand.
amazing, amazing.
All right, question number 4. When you are just done listening to, uplifting trance at 138, 140 BPMs or whatever, what is the most embarrassing guilty pleasure pop song you listen to just like clean your brain from all the other tracks?
I have a cheesy playlist on Robify, uh, and it's got things like the Venga Boys. Mr. Quantum loves the Venga Boys, so that's all right.
Yeah,
But I've also got things like, I don't know if you know it, Ooh La 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 by Alexia. Great.
Of all those tracks, what's the most embarrassing one that you're like, oh man, I should not have this here. I should not even be listening to this, but here I am.
It's probably that one. The windows go up in the car when I'm listening to that one. We don't keep them down. We put the aircon on and we put the windows up.
right. That brings me to question number 5. If we put a hidden camera up in your studio a day when you're working, what are we gonna see of embarrassing thing? Chair dancing or
Chair throwing.
chair throwing? Yeah. Phil is known for throwing chairs in the chat on TikTok, everyone, so watch out. Thank
Yeah.
you. Manuel?
All right, so on the last question number 6, as a sound designer, what is one normal everyday sound, like a squeaky door or someone chewing loud gum, that triggers you because it's really bad EQ'd? Like you hear, even on the track, you hear something like, ooh, what? Kind of thing.
It's probably a fork and a knife on a plate. It's probably like that. You're like, oh, no. It's awful.
It's almost
Yeah.
like nails on a chalkboard, right?
Yeah, like, yeah, that's the one.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
Awesome. Very good. All right, we're ready to wrap this up, I believe. Phil, do you have anything else to say?
No, not really, mate. No, just glad to be here. It's been fun.
We'll, of course, make sure that every track of Phil's is up on our pages or below in the text in this video. So make sure to give him a follow and go on Spotify and make sure to listen to his music, buy his samples packs. There's some of the best out there.
So and that's all the time that we have for the very first episode of 1Trance Podcast. A massive thank you, Phil, for kicking this off with us.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you, Eternal Waves. Where can everyone keep up with your latest tracks? Where is the place that you mainly post up things?
It's everywhere, mate. So Spotify is obviously the main one for everyone, but there's my SoundCloud as well, which I put on stuff that just bootlegs, things like that. People can get hold of them for free. And they've been really well received this year. So yeah, I've done about 12 this year, and it's really gone orbital. So yeah, that's probably the best place. That's probably where I'm getting the most feedback at the moment. So yeah,
amazing.
And as Danny stated before, all the social links to social media from Eternal Waves and along the way you can get his tracks are going to be posted on the notes of this podcast.
We really hope that you enjoyed our little peek behind the scenes and our chat with Phil. This is what it's all about, the good, friendly conversation and the questions that you don't hear anywhere else.
And remember, this is more than just a podcast. This is where Trance meets all of you guys, our fans, our supporters.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you listen to it, even if it's Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Give us a 5-star review, and that will help us grow.
And like I said, this is just the first of hopefully many, many episodes to come. You can also follow ourselves, myself, Reboot, Quantum Solar on our social media, on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and all others. Send us a message and let us know. We'd like to know your opinion of who you'd like to see on the podcast again or next. Sorry.
Yeah, and if you have any fun questions or anything that you think we could ask people, please let us know. This is Quantum Solar.
And this is Reboot.
That is Phil. Eternal Waves. Waving. Take care, buddy. And please let us know how you think this episode went. We're all new at this, so bear in mind all the small stuff. We're here to learn. Please share, and we'll see you next time.
And remember, keep those hands up and let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching and listening to the 1Trance podcast. Do you have any questions you would like to have answered? Let us know. Take care and see you next time. 1Trance. We're trance.